Okay, let's go right at it from House Judiciary and House Oversight. Congressman Russell Fry and former federal prosecutor Andrew Cherkasky. Congressman Fry, give us the inside scoop. What is the fighting going on right now in your committees? Is Weiss being brought in to stop the House GOP probes of the Biden family corruption allegations?
Well, I think all signs seem to point to that. I mean, this is the same U.S. attorney that wouldn't allow IRS investigators to look at or question Joe Biden or Hunter Biden. This is the same U.S. attorney that tipped off the Secret Service about seeking tax documents in a storage facility. This is the same U.S. attorney that has changed his story about his ability to prosecute, and who has slow-walked investigations, allowing things, statute of limitations to run, and who was about to give Hunter Biden the sweetheart deal of a lifetime. This, to me, all points to, we're going to continue to reward incompetence and favoritism. So it's deeply troubling where we're headed right now.
So what Congressman Fry just said, Andrew Cherkasky, the question is, why now? Why did David Weiss ask for special counsel status now?
Well, it's really just too little, too late at this point. It's unclear why the timing is, at this point, appointing the special counsel. But I think what we have to look at is the idea that there are all sorts of pressures by Congress for Weiss to testify before Congress. And I think that the appointment as special counsel is going to be one more hurdle that Congress is going to have in order to put Weiss in front of the congressional panels in order to ask tough questions about why the investigation has gone on for so long and why Weiss thought that it was wise to cut a deal that a federal judge shot down in a matter of minutes. So there's a lot of questions here, and I think the special counsel appointment is going to be one more hurdle in the way of us getting those answers.
Yeah, this is the same David Weiss accused of giving that sweetheart plea deal to Hunter Biden, which would have inoculate Hunter Biden from future felonies. So this is a major separation of powers fight because the executive branch oversees the Justice Department. And then, Congress has been talking about impeachment of, Joe Biden. We've got Congressman Greg Steube filing impeachment articles today. Congressman, will this ramp up the impeachment inquiry?
I think it could, and I think it's certainly going to sharpen, our investigations. I mean, you've already seen the focus really hone in over the last couple months, in particular, about Joe Biden and his interactions with Hunter Biden in these transactions. But today certainly is a step back, particularly for those of us who care about transparency, because it doesn't smell right either.
We've got a major fight breaking out. Government regulations say, Andrew, special counsels are supposed to come from outside the government. Both AG Garland and Weiss, they told Congress Weiss had total charging authority in the Hunter Biden case. But now we need special counsel status, and why? And who does he now report to? Andrew, do you see all those legal issues? These are major problems exploding right now in D.C.
There's always been ambiguity about the authority that Weiss had to investigate both Hunter Biden and people closely affiliated with Hunter Biden, to include Joe Biden. The appointment of Weiss as special counsel is improper under the federal regulations because it's supposed to be somebody who actually is outside of the government. And when you're outside of the government, that gives you the autonomy to be able to investigate things fairly. Weiss remains an employee of the Department of Justice, remains subordinate to Merrick Garland and to the President of the United States. This isn't the independence that you think of when you assign a special counsel, and is just plain wrong.
Yeah, we have, David Weiss, also separate from all of this, in a court filing saying that the Hunter Biden tax evasion case could go to trial, either in D.C. or in the Central District of California. So there's also problems, though, with that case. Let's watch IRS whistleblowers testifying about the political meddling you talked about. We're going to talk also about what they're saying about what Hunter Biden, they did not charge Hunter Biden with, he should have been charged with. Watch this.
That was not the case. It appeared to me, based on what I experienced, that the U.S. Attorney in Delaware in our investigation was constantly hamstrung, limited, and marginalized by DOJ officials as well as other U.S. attorneys.
The Justice Department allowed the president's political appointees to weigh in on whether to charge the president's son. After United States Attorney for D.C. Matthew Graves, appointed by President Biden, refused to bring charges in March 2022, I watched United States Attorney Weiss tell a room full of senior FBI and IRS senior leaders on October 7th, 2022, that he was not the deciding person on whether charges were filed. That was my red line.
So, Congressman Fry, here's the issue. The IRS whistleblower Shapley testified that that the DOJ and the IRS should have brought tax evasion charges against Hunter Biden for 2014, that he didn't file a lot of personal income on those tax returns from Burisma, that he filed a false return for 2019. Those two counts are for 2017 and 2018. So already we have it's seemingly misfeasance in the charging out of the DOJ, out of the IRS against Hunter Biden.
No, I think you're exactly right. And you know, the only thing that has remained consistent in this entire saga is the IRS whistleblower's testimony, both of them. And in that room where U.S. Attorney Weiss said that he didn't have any authority, since then his story has changed, that he was limited to Delaware, that he had ultimate authority. This also flies in direct contradiction to Merrick Garland, who testified that he had full authority. But now all of a sudden he really has that authority after the statute of limitations has run, after you've tipped off the Secret Service about tax documents in a storage locker, after you have really impeded this investigation and not allowed these investigators to interview Hunter Biden.
What are you guys going to do about it? So let's stay on this. What are you going to do to counteract this? I mean, because seemingly this is going to affect House probes. Andrew, I'm going to get to you in just a second. I mean, James Comer already said he was working on subpoenaing more of Hunter Biden's business partners, getting more bank records on their shell companies. If this Weiss steps in, they could block all that. I mean, Jordan wants 11 transcribed interviews with Hunter Biden, DOJ, FBI, IRS, and Secret Service officials. Weiss still has to testify. How are you guys going to call all of those guys in a potential impeachment probe?
Well, I think at least with the 11 people that the transcribed interviews and U.S. Attorney Weiss himself, we still expect him to come testify. We want him to come testify. And if he won't, that confirms our worst suspicions, which is where, in my opinion, these things ramp up pretty dramatically. So we don't know what his stance is on this right now. But Weiss has already indicated prior to this appointment as special counsel that he would come in and talk. So I'm at least hoping right now that he's going to continue to do that. And if not, then that's going to guide our next steps, because that would be deeply concerning to me where this thing is headed. So
let's, Andrew, wrap it all together, because now the 2024 race, now we have reports coming in that Joe Biden is negotiating with terms of how he's going to talk to his special counsel on his classified documents case. That's Robert Hur. We have a Hunter Biden special counsel, and we have Trump indictments. This might be the wildest U.S. 2024 race in U.S. history. So, Andrew, wrap this all together. Where do you think this is going to go?
Well, we have to take it day by day, and I think that what we see today is that Weiss is compromised. Weiss is compromised because several weeks ago he virtually skipped into the courthouse hand in hand with Hunter Biden's legal team, cutting a sweetheart deal that eliminated basically all of the major investigations here. So until we get real investigation into the real crimes, we have real problems.
This sounds like, a lot of GOP lawmakers, final word, Russell, that this is a real sham, that this is basically just a cover-up to blockade the House GOP getting closer and closer to corruption involving the president. That's the allegation. Final word.
No, I think you just hit the nail on the head. I mean, we've done more in 6 months than these law enforcement agencies have done in 6 years. And finally, when things start to get in focus, when you start to see the full picture, a U.S. attorney who is either incompetent or corrupt or both is appointed as special counsel in violation, really, of U.S. law from what we're seeing. So it is deeply troubling. And again, to Andrew's point, we're going to take this day by day, and we're going to keep doing our investigation.
Not just take it day by day. You're going to fight it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll find out more in the coming days. Congressman Fry, Andrew Cherkasky, thanks for joining us, right?
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.